Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2022 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Strike, the Executive Director, in conversation with Bonnie Walsh. Behind the film, Climate Emergency Feedback Loops, which is actually a teaser for an incredibly impactful series that she will be discussing with us in today's conversation. And all the information about our upcoming 20th anniversary film festival can be found at peacefilmfest.org. Our in-person screenings begin September 19th and end on the 25th, followed immediately by our virtual programming beginning September 26th and ending October the 2nd. Again, all the information about our film and other events can be found at peacefilmfest.org. And now please join us in welcoming Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie, for sharing this work with us. It couldn't be more timely.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Hi, let's start by tell us about the film.
Yes.
Actually, tell us about the tease, the part we're showing, and expand a little to tell us about the series.
Sure. So the film you're featuring is called Introduction, and it's the first in a 5-part series of short films about climate feedback loops. And each film ranges between 8 and 14 minutes long. And they're up for free on a website where anyone can view the whole series. And the introduction film is to give viewers a background in what a feedback loop is. And so through graphics and footage and interviews with scientists, we explain how the warming in the atmosphere caused by fossil fuel emissions is kicking into gear several environmental feedback loops that are creating vicious cycles of warming. So it's warming leading to more warming. And so in this introduction film, we tease out the idea of what a feedback loop is, and we talk about all the different feedback loops we're going to be covering in the rest of the series in the other 4 films. And those are around forests, permafrost thaw, albedo, which is reflection of ice and snow in the North Pole, and atmosphere, things like the jet stream and water vapor. And so these films are really science documentaries, and they feature experts in the field. We have 12 leading climate scientists featured talking about various feedback loops, and some great graphics that really kind of reiterate this idea of these vicious cycles creating more and more warming.
Well, Bonnie, you've certainly underlined why this particular topic is important. Could you talk a little bit about the particular approach that you guys had taken, breaking this up and creating a series of shorts?
Yes, that's a great question. So when we were first approached by our producer, Barry Hershey, who's the one who wanted to make a film about feedback loops, we really thought hard about what the best way would be for the most people to see these films. And we didn't want to start with a television broadcast film because we know that those can air, once or twice, and then, they can be hard to see. And so we really wanted to make them accessible to the public, to teachers to use in schools, all kinds of educators, community groups. So we decided that we would make 5 short films and put them up on our website for free and make them really completely accessible. And so that's what we aimed for. We did end up creating a broadcast version from the 5 short films, and it's called Earth Emergency. It aired on PBS in December 2021, and again this past April, and it's being sold around the world. So we did end up having both, but I really think it was a great way to do the project because we have the broadcast version and then we have the short ones for free for people to use.
And in terms of diving into this particular subject matter, were there particular things that you learned that you hope that people will also pick up on?
Yeah, I spent about 8 months researching the topic and trying to find the best feedback loops to feature in the films. And I have to say, I got really depressed. I really, I was one of those people that I knew about global warming. I'd heard, of course, but I hadn't really understood these environmental processes that get kicked in by high levels of warming in the atmosphere and these vicious cycles at work. So I learned a lot about that. And, the more I learned, the more scared I got, really. And so I do feel like it's really important for these films to be seen. And we really tried to steer away from politics. They're just science films explaining what's going on. So we really hope that they'll be, used. And we tried to be as accurate as we could about the science at the time when we were making the films. I'm learning now that we were actually really conservative and things are happening much more quickly than we even predicted. For instance, we had said that the Arctic was warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the globe. An article just came out in August in the journal Nature saying it's actually warming 4 times faster. So I'm still kind of shocked at what I'm learning about what's going on in the climate.
I hear you. I hear you. And I have so much respect for your respect for the facts, and for presenting them in a way that you hope will not be polarizing, but instead will invite people to take them under serious consideration and hopefully take the actions that we need.
Yeah, that's our
And
goal.
that fantastic. And to that point, a big part of what we do at our film festival, speaking of the word action, is we of course want to bring together well-crafted, well-made films, but we really hope that when the lights come up, or when people finish watching this program as part of the Free for All Shorts program on our website, that they will sit up and say, what can I do? How can I make a change?
Mhm.
Not every film or every project has a completely well thought out impact campaign, but some do. So could you speak to what you see as the impact for this?
Yeah, we're really focusing a lot of time and energy on impact. And we are not only encouraging, as I mentioned, teachers and educators to use the films and community groups to have screenings, but we're helping all kinds of organizations plan virtual webinars and bring in scientists on panels. We've had some really great successful events. For instance, we did an event with Climate Reality Project of Massachusetts, talking specifically about legislation that was in our state house about Massachusetts forests. And we brought on local activists and a scientist. And so we really gave concrete action steps that people in Massachusetts could take to save the forests here. We're planning a similar event on October 6th with Bill McKibben to talk about what older people who have more time on their hands can do to try to leave a better legacy for their children and grandchildren around the climate. And we're bringing in panelists from Elders Action Climate, an environmental voter project. And we're really going to give people concrete action items of what they can do. So we're really geared toward that. And if you visit our website, which I know we're going to give at the end, there's an events page that talks about these events that we have. And you can see that we're doing all kinds of events and virtual panels and webinars. We also, we were invited by now King Charles to show our broadcast version at COP26 last year in Glasgow. So we got the opportunity to show the film there at COP26, which was really exciting. And before that, we showed clips to members of Parliament from the UK House of Commons in preparation for the conference and alerting them to these issues. We're now working with a lot of school districts and states who have new climate curricula to let them know that the films are available for free. And we also have a science curriculum for grades 6 through 12 available for free on our website. So we're really trying to encourage people to use those materials. So we're really trying to get the word out and doing a lot of work on impact to try to get these films seen.
That's really fantastic. So we encourage everybody watching this to go to the website, which we will show on in just a minute, and to support this work. So tell us what's next for you. Are you still really working on this? Do you have anything coming up? And how can people watching this support your work, and as well as supporting these films?
Thanks. Well, you can support the films by getting the word out. I mean, our scientists every scientist we interviewed, when we said what should people do, besides giving the answer about voting and getting involved in your, community organizations, they said talk about climate change with your friends and family. And these films are perfect materials, resources to just email people about and say, here, watch a few of these films and pass them around to your friends. They're bite-sized, they're short, so they're easy to kind of spread around to people. So that's how people can help, is by getting the word out, by talking to your school districts, your high schools, your colleges about using them in classes, because they're readily available. Personally, I'm still working on impact and outreach work for the films. I'm also developing a new film project that's about the bipolar spectrum. So I am hoping to get that we are getting that in the works, and we're hoping to start filming that in the new year. And it's again to raise awareness about the bipolar spectrum and stop the stigma and try to help people. So that's what I'll be working on next.
Oh, well, that sounds like a very interesting and again, another timely and much needed topic to be covered.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that upcoming work, and please do let us know if there are any any updates that we could share with our Global Peace Film Festival followers through our social media networks. We love to update our audiences about filmmakers' new work.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Bonnie. This has been a great conversation. And thank you for everyone who has watched today's Glow. We've been speaking with Bonnie Walsh about climate emergency feedback loops, the portion of the series that will be a part of our Free for All Shorts program is the introduction piece. And I want to remind everyone out there that, as Bonnie had mentioned, go to feedbackloopsclimate.com to the events tab in order to find out about different ways to get involved. But I'd also like to remind any of the educators who watch these free for all shorts and consider assigning these to their students that there is a curricula as well to be obtained, and to seek out that information. Again, feedbackloopsclimate.com. You can get all the information there, whether you're an educator or you're just an average citizen looking to see what you can do. And again, our programming, in-person screenings, begin September 19th and end on the 25th, followed immediately by our virtual programming, for which our Free for All Shorts program is a part. That begins September 26th and ends October the 2nd. Our website is peacefilmfest.org. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you at the next Glow.